I have the names of everyone. Just so that you know, the executive directors of CAMI, Helena, just in time. Nice. Yes, the executive directors of the organizations who are presenting here today were, at the same time as they were meant to be presenting, called to a meeting with La Ministre. So we were that's why we were having to improvise it, just so you know, but here we are. Nice. So we have, starting the other, we have Shelley, Fequet, who will be presenting on behalf of the
Coasters Association.
The Coasters Association. And she has a bursary recipient with her today, which is very exciting. Amber?
Yes.
And we also have Fay Gallon, who is representing CASA. And she will be presenting her bursary. They're not just bursary recipients. They're now employed. This is exciting. From CASA. And she'll be presenting it by video. And now, Helena Burke, who I was going to represent, is now here to present her candidate from the Maggies, from the Magdalene Islands. So I think we decided to begin with CAMI and work our way down.
Okay. So do you want to begin with my presentation or the video? Do you want me to give it some context first? Or?
Let's show, so yes, she does have I'll show you which one it is. No, she's starting with, you have a PowerPoint? You don't have a PowerPoint?
No, just a video.
Okay, she has a video. How did you want it to go? Did you want
I'll explain,
yes,
and then we'll do the video.
That's Helena? Yeah.
So CAMI's been part of the McGill retention program, I think, since the beginning, way back when I started in 2007. We were part of the first round of bursary program recipients. We've been able to fund, I would say, half a dozen people over the course of the last 4 to 6 years. The recipient that I'm going to present today is Helena Clark. So she was studying at Dawson College in the medical laboratory program. Helena returned back to the region. She got a job, and she's now a member of the CAMI board of directors. So we recruited her to come back to work for the community in the public system, and we've also recruited her as a volunteer to support the local community network. So what we do in our area, we promote the bursary program. We do all of the administration that comes with managing the program. Once we get the recipients and they receive their bursary, we do all the follow-up that's needed to try to ensure their successful integration into our SIS. We'll do the follow-up. As soon as they send their application to the SIS, I get right on the phone and I call the HR department and I'm like, we've sent you a resume, make sure they get hired. So we do a lot of that unofficial support, I guess, to make sure that once they do get the bursary, that they are brought back to the region and they are integrated into the institution. Helena is native Anglophone. She did all of her schooling in English, never went to French school. She learned French from just being part of Quebec society, so she integrated into the workforce there. She's been able to with being emerged into the system, she's been able to pick up the language. She's worked well in the language. She also lives in the French community now because it's closer to the institution. Our community is in the eastern extremity of the island, so it's easier to travel back and forth to work if you live in the French community. So she's very well integrated into the society and into the workplace there. So we can play her video. She was supposed to come, but they're so short-staffed that they couldn't give her the time off work.
Hi, my name is Helena Clark. And I'm from the Magdalene Islands. I have a degree in medical laboratory technology. I went to school at Dawson College in Montreal. I currently work at the Sis des Îles, the hospital here on the islands. I've been here for 3 years, and right now I have a position of 4 days a week. I started off on the replacement list and moved up to 2 days a week, and now I have a permanent position of 4 days a week. Being from a region where post-secondary education is not available, especially in English, this bursary helped me cover all my expenses when I was away. It helped me cover all expenses related to living in the city. It paid for my tuition, it bought my books, and it also relieved the stress that I had from being a new student living in a new place and away from home. CAMI, our community network, worked very hard to organize an internship at the Sis des Îles at the hospital, but due to insufficient resources and staffing, the institution was unable to take me as an intern, but they worked very hard in order to get that done. Following my graduation, CAMI helped me to prepare my application for employment by having my resume and cover letter translated in French. Once my application was submitted, Helena did the follow-up necessary to ensure my successful integration into the workplace. Thanks to CAMI and McGill, I'm able to live out my ultimate dream to work and live in my own community, giving back to the people who helped shape and mold me into the professional that I am today. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Fay from CASA. The student that we are, well, it's not a student, she's now a doctor working at the CISC de la Gaspésie. Her name is Genevieve Beebe, and she is a native of New Carlisle. She went through the English system, but her father is an Anglophone from the area, and her mom is a Francophone. So when she went on to college and university, she did that part in French, so that she could come back to the coast. She was about, I think, in the second round of the bursaries in 2009, I believe. She was one of our first $10,000 winners. I just wanted to do a little bit of the background, and we do the same as CAMI. We do all the follow-up. We walk them through it. We contact our community organizer, who is he's more like a champion, I think, for CASA, because our community organizer involved with the CIS, he comes to everything that we do, and he'll put the resumes through. He'll send us the email of what internships are coming up and what they need. Also, to complement the bursary, it's not just about the bursary program for us. We have created a database, and in that database, we have contacted the schools. We know where the graduates are going, who's in a health program, where they're located, and all those students, we have the permission, and we contact them about twice a year. We give them updates. We let them know what's coming up and if there is a bursary coming up. So that's how we keep in touch with them. And then for the grade 10 and 11 students that are up and coming, a lot of them don't have much access to anything health-wise, like what's available out there. So we've created a program where we bring health professionals into the school during lunch hour to speak with the students that are interested. And how we know what they're interested, we do a little survey with them to find out what they want to know more about, if it's social work, if it's nursing. So we've passed about 52 students have participated into the Healthway chat sessions. And twice a year, we take students on tours of health institutions in the area, whether it's at the Mariah Hospital or the CHSLD or the alternative health in Mariah as well, just to give them access to what is there, what they can come back to. And that's our goal, is to help our youth get in the right program that they need, but to come back to do it. So I guess we're ready to play the video clip of Genevieve, Dr. Genevieve Beebe.
My name is Genevieve Beebe, and I received the McGill Bursary in my second year of medical school. I completed my training with the University of Montreal in Trois-Rivières in 2015. Afterwards, I did 2 years of residency to become a family doctor, so I've been done since July 2017 and happily working at the CLSC in Fequet. I'm working at the emergency room and also following patients of my own. I was lucky enough throughout my stages of residency to work in Saint-Anne-des-Monts, which is on the north shore of the Gaspésie, and also to work a little bit right here in Fequet. So I was exposed to the team, to the work environment, to the type of cases and caseloads that we have on a day-to-day basis, and I realized that it was something that I could see myself doing later on. So it came in and consolidated my decision to try to come back and work here in the region. Another reason I wanted to come back, and it was sort of always in my long-term goals, was because of not only family ties that I have, but also because of the sense of belonging that I've always felt to the region. I think it stems from the close-knit, smaller region as opposed to a more larger city or something. Another interesting aspect, I think, especially that's more specific to being a family doctor in a region like Fequet or like the Gaspé, is the fact that as family doctors, we take on bigger cases and more responsibility than would family doctors in a city that have specialists at their fingertips. So I was really interested by that challenge and by the fact that I knew I'd have a really nice exposition to different cases and different clientele. The whole process, CASA was really key in me obtaining this bursary. Without them, I never would have even heard of it. So I'm very grateful to them for that opportunity. Medical training, as we all know, is a very long process, and with all those years of training come tuition fees and books, and so it can be quite costly, and the bursary was really helpful towards all those expenses. So I'm definitely very grateful for that. I returned to the region at a time where there was a big need for family doctors and also for English-speaking family doctors. Personally, I believe that when dealing with health issues, it's crucial to be able to speak in the person's mother tongue. So I really appreciate being able to offer that service to my patients.
I'm Shelley with the Coasters Association. We're situated on the lower north shore of Quebec. The lower north shore consists of 13 small communities that are spread across a wide coastline. Many communities are isolated. They have no roads in or out, so they're isolated communities, and it's very hard for our region to retain professionals that are not from the area. They go there for a little time, they work, and they realize the lifestyle they can't adjust to. I mean, we have no high-speed internet, there's no malls, there's winter roads, snowmobile trails in the wintertime, so it's hard to adjust. And also the lower north shore is at a very crucial point. We're losing a lot of our youth. Because of the high cost of travel to return home, some youth during their post-secondary, they don't return home for 3 or 4 years at a time, and they lose their connection to the region. And because of that, as well as not a lot of job opportunities, a lot of our youth aren't coming back. So a priority of our organization is to retain our youth and do what we can to encourage them to get their post-secondary, because we can't do it in a region. They have to leave to get their education, but we want them to come back. And we've had a lot of, thanks to McGill's opportunities they provided, we have had a lot of success with retaining our youth. We start with them in high school. We hold career fairs, and we try to highlight careers that they can come back and work to. And it's not necessarily careers it's not just a teacher. You can do other things in fields and come back to the region and work. And when they are in post-secondary, we try to keep a database of where they're going, what fields they're in, and then we try to keep in contact with them by letting them know, okay, if you're in health and social services, the CIS is looking for this, is coming up. There's a shortage of this, so we try to keep their connection. We support them any way we can in terms of referrals and references. We do this a lot to our youth. We try to get them as much support as possible from a distance. Like CASA and CAMI, we work closely with our CIS. We've had graduates contact us, said, I put my application into the CIS 2 months ago, I haven't heard anything. But we can pick up the phone and call the CIS and say, you know what, where is their resume? Why hasn't it been looked at? And we help them get summer internships and summer jobs with our CIS to try to get them come back, to keep their attachment. It's so important for them to realize to come back and not lose their connection to their family, to their culture. It's not always easy, but we do what we can. And right now, I'm going to introduce you to this lovely young lady. It's Amber Smith. She's one of our McGill Bursary recipients. And so, go ahead.
Thank you, Shelley. So my name is Amber. I'm a registered nurse. I attended Heritage College in Gatineau to complete my DEC in nursing. I graduated in 2016, and I decided to attend McGill in their Bachelor of Nursing integrated program, and I will graduate this April. So I'm a 3-time recipient of the Coasters and McGill Bursary, and I'm from a small town called St. Paul's River on the Lower North Shore, which Shelley just introduced. So the population is about 350 to 400 people in that small town. So moving from home at the age of 17 meant more than just continuing my education at Heritage. So it meant being away from my family, it meant paying for my books, it meant becoming independent really quickly, and the high cost of travel, so it's around over $1,500 to travel back and forth. Actually, this Christmas it was $1,900 since the airlines just merged, so that was hard. So moving away from home, I moved a lot between apartments and between family members, new roommates, and things like that. So the bursary really helped me with the costs of all these things. So I returned home every chance I had, and a lot of people would ask me why, and I'd always answer, well, this is my home, this is what I know, and these are the people who have made me who I am. So for 2 summers throughout nursing school, I worked as a préposé, and Shelley was actually my reference when I got this job, since she was my boss when I worked at the summer camp in St. Paul's River. This past summer, I returned to work as a nurse since I had obtained the nursing degree from Heritage and then continued at McGill. So that really changed my perspective on how nursing is on the Lower North Shore. So that was a really cool opportunity for my first nursing job. So I feel very fortunate to have had these opportunities, which they might not have been possible if I hadn't received this bursary. The Coasters Association has given me a lot of opportunities over the years. As I said, the summer camp. Also, they had career fairs when I was in high school, I remember that, and also information sessions such as drug and alcohol prevention, things like that. So it's definitely been a really positive influence on me as I've been growing up. So I'm very proud to be here representing them, and I have no doubt that they have directly influenced my success as a nurse and will continue to influence this, and I look forward to working with them when I return to the region. So thank you very much.
Good job.